What's up everybody? I'm Coach Zach with Team Criticalbench, and in this video we're talking all about your quads. I'm going to show you how to massage them yourself as well as stretch them. Let's get it. Let's start by talking about the anatomy of your quadriceps. Your quadriceps are found on the front part of your thigh. They're comprised of 4 muscles, hence the term quadriceps. First, you got your rectus femoris. Now, your rec fem is the only quadricep muscle that attaches to both your knee and your hip. It comes from the AIIS, your anterior inferior iliac spine in your pelvis, and goes all the way down to blend into your patellar tendon. You also got your vastus medialis, also known as your VMO, your teardrop muscle, which goes from your femur, the top of your thigh bone, and it comes down, coming down into the medial aspect of the knee. You then got your vastus lateralis, which is the lateral part of your leg. It's also the biggest, and it comprises of the most mass of your thigh. And it comes from, again, the top portion of your femur down into the lateral aspect of the knee. You also have your vastus intermedius, which lies directly deep, so directly under your rec fem. And it goes just in the straight from the femur down to your knee. One other muscle that we should discuss, it's not a quadricep, but it's right there in that same area, is your sartorius. Now, sartorius is not considered a quadricep, but it goes right from your ASIS, your anterior superior iliac spine, and it comes all the way down your thigh, and it goes medial to attach below the knee at what's called the pes anserinus, which is right below the knee, an attachment point for 3 muscles. Now, the most common issue that most people experience with their quadriceps is overuse. Right? Using too much of our quadriceps, maybe not balancing out with enough hamstrings. Certain sports really emphasize quadriceps. Think about cycling, think about soccer, right? That they have to have a really nice strong kick. Think about some swimmers, especially with the flutter kick, they're really using their quads. As well as most people at the gym. You know, something that I tend to see with people is if it's in the front of the body, if they can see it in the mirror, they train it a lot more than the back. So if you're always doing squats, if you're always doing quad dominated exercises, there's a good chance that you can have quads that are really tight, really dysfunctional. Now that you're familiar with the anatomy of your quads, let's start treating its attachments. We're gonna start with the attachments by the knee. So you can do this laying in your bed, you can do it laying on the floor, but you just wanna have your leg completely relaxed. You don't wanna bolster or anything else under your knee. Just flat leg, nice and relaxed. So first we're just gonna treat around the patella, around the kneecap. So we're gonna go right under the patella. You got a big tendon right here. You can use your thumb. You're just gonna go right into it, and then you can start with up and down motion, right? So just nice little frictions. So basically I'm just doing this with my thumb right there. If it's tender for you, and you hold it, breathe into it until it starts to melt. Then you can start to go across the fibers. So we were going with, now we're gonna go across, side to side. Same thing, just little frictions, back and forth, getting into the little tendon right there. Next, we're gonna go above the patella. This is a big one, causes a lot of people pain. So right above the kneecap. This is where your rectus femoris turns into the patella tendon, which attaches to underneath your kneecap. So you can go right above your knee. Same thing, you can use 2 thumbs maybe. You're gonna go with, right on the tendon, and then you're gonna go cross against it. Again, if you find tight spots, you're gonna hold it. These next couple are a little bit more in depth, and for some of you, it may not work. Your kneecap might not move at all. That's totally fine. Just go as much as you can without forcing it. Right? Nothing can compare to trained hands, but giving you the tools so you can empower yourself and take care of your own body. So again, with the leg completely relaxed, completely straight, you're gonna use one hand to gently displace the kneecap laterally. So you're just gonna push the kneecap to the outside. Right? And then you're gonna use the other hand to actually get under your kneecap, and you're just gonna use your fingers and do little frictions. So displace the kneecap and then come here and just go right as much as you can under the kneecap. Just some little frictions as much as you can. Might be really tender for you there. So just as much surface area as you can get. And you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna displace your kneecap medially, so towards the midline. So one hand pushes the kneecap in, the other hand gets right under the kneecap, and you do those little frictions. Don't force it, right? Nice and slow, little frictions. Nice. So we treated the attachments of the knee. Now remember, what's the muscle that attaches in the knee and the hip? The only quadricep is your rectus femoris. So we're gonna get into that attachment. So from here, you can lay down. It's easiest if you lay down. And let's say I'm gonna do my left first. You can bend the knee and then bring the knee up towards your chest. We wanna give some slack to that muscle. Trying to get in on that attachment with the leg straight isn't gonna work. So bend the knee, give it some slack. From here, you're gonna use your thumb on that same side. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna find your ASIS. It's that bony part of your hip. Those two bones right there, that's your ASIS. So right there, that bony part, you're gonna go just under it with the knee bent, just under it, and with your thumb, you're gonna do same thing, those little frictions. We're just treating the attachments. Trigger points in the muscle tend to either be up in the attachment or in the belly of the muscle. So if you have a trigger point here, again, you're just gonna hold it, you're gonna breathe. So again, knee bent, right under, about an inch or so under the ASIS, knee bent, little frictions. And that's the attachments of your quadriceps. Now we're gonna treat the belly of the muscle using our hands and our elbows. Obviously, there's no substitute for trained human hands that can really get in there and know the anatomy of the body, but here you go, you can do it yourself at your seat, at your work, wherever you are. So, coming to a seat, first, just begin to rub your hands together, warm them up a little bit. Then from here, just kind of begin to rub your leg, right? Bringing some friction, bringing some heat, warming the tissue up. You can even do some fascial work, just so you're gonna use your palms, you're gonna push down, so compress, and then you can just kind of pull it apart. Not too much of this, just a little bit. Good. Now we can do some glides with the hands. If you need, you can use a little bit of lotion. So again, knowing the anatomy of the body, your rectus femoris runs from your patella tendon all the way up to your hip. It's not that thick of a muscle, so from here, we always want to go towards the heart. So you can use your fingers. Again, you can come up, you can just do little frictions, working your way up about 1 inch segments. Right in there, find those tight spots, you can hold it. You can also do glides, right? If you have some lotion, especially if you have hairy legs, use that lotion, glide up towards the heart. That was rec fem. It's really hard to get into vastus intermedius, which lies directly underneath it. So we're gonna get into vastus medialis, right? The big meaty teardrop muscle. Same thing from the medial aspect of the knee. Just begin to do those frictions. Again, you can do those glides using your hand all the way up. And then same thing for lateralis. So vastus lateralis, from the lateral part of the knee, just above the knee, you're gonna come. Again, you can do those frictions. You can use your fingers like this. You can use your thumbs. It's up to you. All the way up. That's your hands. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to get into a big meaty muscle using your hands. It's hard to get the right amount of pressure. So that's what we got our elbows for, the moment you've all been waiting for. So again, in this seat, you're gonna use your elbow. Now, we don't wanna exactly start with the pointy part of our elbow. Start with a little bit of a more blunt surface of your elbow. So a little bit more towards your forearm. You can start, and then from here, again, you can, straighten your leg out or bend it to get the right pressure. Find the spot. You can do those frictions, right? Just nice and slow back and forth. Or get some lotion. You can do some glides. So now I'm getting into rec fem. The more pressure you want, use the more pointed edge of your elbow. So from here, come all the way up. Oh yeah, you can really get some good pressure using your elbow. And up. Again, those frictions. You can even go side to side. It's a little bit more intense. You can go with the fiber, cross fiber, you can glide. Move towards the vastus medialis, same thing. Get that elbow, nice and slow. Trace that muscle all the way up. That's why knowing the anatomy of the body is very important, to know where the muscles are. All the way up. It's obviously a lot easier if you have lotion and you want to do those glides. If you don't have lotion, stick with those with and cross fiber frictions. Lateralis might be a little bit tougher to get this way, right? Especially if you have knee pain. We don't want to go too much into knee valgus, but see if you can get anything. You can also use a Theracane. Another thing too, if you have a Theragun or one of those percussion massage machines, you can use that. Here, again, it's a little bit more difficult to get into the lateralis, but it's not impossible. Those frictions, you can do those glides. Just play around, see what works for you. Now I'm gonna show you how to get into your quads using a foam roller. It's really basic. We're gonna hit the front of your thigh, medial part of your thigh, and the lateral part of your thigh. Take a foam roller, horizontally, and then you're gonna place the foam roller right at the front of your thigh. So make sure that your toes are pointing down. And then from here, we don't wanna be just rolling back and forth all willy-nilly, right? We wanna actually find the spot, and then from here you can do little back and forth, little frictions, right? So a little back and forth, find the spot. So when we're treating the front of the thigh, go up towards the hip to get that attachment for rectus femoris. And again, work your way down, find those tender spots. Nice little frictions. All the way down to just above the kneecap. And from here, we'll come more medial for that vastus medialis. So you're gonna externally rotate your leg. Right? We wanna actually bring the foam roller now so it's vertical. And so you wanna get to the inside of that thigh, and then same thing. Nice and slow, little frictions, find those tender spots. Right, most likely you're also gonna get your adductors in this. But so instead of just completely focusing on the medial part, maybe you tilt your leg a little bit forward to get more into that vastus medialis. All the way up, same thing that we did before. Little trigger points, breathe. For the lateral part of the thigh, we're gonna place the foam roller horizontally. We're gonna come onto our side. The other leg can be out in front, just stabilize. And then again, from here, the top of that femur, find those little points. You can hold it static, or you can do those little frictions, back and forth. Work your way up and down the muscle in this way. Find those points. Most likely you'll either have the most trigger points in the attachments of the muscle, or right in the belly of the muscle, right towards the central part. All the way down to just above the knee. Now I'm going to show you how to stretch your quadriceps. First, with the most basic stretch, you've probably seen it a million times, just your basic standing quadricep stretch. Here's the thing, most people do this wrong. So most people would just kick their leg up there and just kind of hang out here, maybe getting a little bit of a stretch, but not much. There's so many ways that you can make this better. So from here, you're gonna grab, you wanna kick your heel towards your hip and grab the foot. This is where most people get it wrong, is they arch their spine, right? So their low back will really arch. They'll be really tight here, so they arch to compensate. What I want you to do is find that pelvic tilt. So tuck your tailbone, a slight squeeze of the glutes, keep that pelvic tilt, squeeze. Now from here, instead of just hanging out here, grabbing that foot, we want to make it a little bit more active. So we actually want to kick the foot into the hand, maintain that tilt, kick the foot into the hand, all this will light up. You can hold that for 3 to 5 seconds, relax. Again, push it into the hand, relax, and just do that for a couple rounds. Maybe do a hold where you hold, breathe, push the foot into the hand, you'll feel all of that lengthen. The next stretch is the pretzel stretch. Now this stretch is great for your quads, but you're also getting some other rotation in the spine and you're getting other benefits. So, coming onto your back, we're gonna start off by, we're gonna start with that right leg. Just let that right knee collapse out to the side. From here, we're gonna tuck that right foot behind the left, grab that right foot with the left hand. Now this is the quadricep portion of this, so maybe you bring it a little bit closer, point that right knee more forward, get that nice stretch. From here, the other knee comes up, inhale, and on your exhale, you're gonna keep this left shoulder down, and you're just gonna rotate the spine, bringing that left knee towards the ground. Again, if you wanna make this a little bit more, bring that foot a little bit closer towards your hip, maybe even engage this quadricep a little bit like we did in standing. Take some deep breaths. You can again do those 3 to 5 seconds, get back into it, 3 to 5 seconds, or you can just hold. Then I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. So from here, left knee falls open to the side, bring that left foot behind the right, grab it with the right hand. Again, find that nice stretch. Right knee up and then twist. Don't let the shoulder come up, keep it down and breathe. The final stretch I'm gonna show you is called the couch stretch. The reason why it's called the couch stretch is because you can do it on your couch while you're watching TV. You can do it anytime, anywhere. All you need is a little bit of an elevated surface. So you're gonna come down onto your knee, and then the leg that's back, you're gonna bring that foot on top of whatever surface you chose. Now, the further forward your knee is, the less intense the stretch is gonna be. So the more you scoot that knee towards the surface, the more you're gonna feel that stretch. The other leg steps forward. And now from here, here's the key. Most people will just arch their low back, let their low back take that load. Not much of a stretch going on here, you're just gonna be damaging your spine in the long run. Again, find that pelvic tilt. Find that slight engagement of the glute. Tilt that pelvis, nice and strong through the core. And then from here, tall spine, you can have your hands on your thigh. You're just gonna come forward. Really nice stretch here. This is a lot more than just the quads. You're also getting into your psoas muscle, your other hip flexors. So really nice stretch. Again, you can hold for 3, 2, 1, back on out. Hold 3 to 5 seconds, back out. You can also just hold. A little more passive stretch, deep breaths. Again, the more you lean forward, the less intense it's gonna be. So you can use your hands on the thigh, come up tall. Don't lose that core engagement. Don't arch your back. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Nice stretch on that quad. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Now you know how to treat and stretch your own quadriceps. But before you go, I got a program I wanna share with you. It's our Metabolic stretching. This is a total body stretching program that has the added benefit of getting your heart rate up, boosting your metabolism, and potentially helping you lose fat. If you want to check out this program, go ahead and check out that pinned comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, comment if you've tried some of these stretches or techniques, let us know how it worked for you. As always, I'm Coach Zach with Team Criticalbench, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. I'm Coach Zach with Team... Right? Should I wait for that? Yeah. Are those your shoes or you actually ripping ass? Like I keep hearing it. I'm like, are you like...
Not ripping.
Okay.